Israel spoke mighty in the spirit. And we're just going to continue on. And I'm going to touch on, the Lord, He wants us to stay current and to be occupied in prophecies. So I'm going to touch on some things that's going on right now in our society. You want to start with Zechariah 9, 1 through 6. Uriel, Ezekiel 36, 1 through 5 after that box.
Okay. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verses 1 through 6. The burden of the word of the Lord in the land of Hadrach and Damascus shall be the rest thereof, when the eyes of man, as of all the tribes of Israel, shall be toward the Lord.
So we looking, we keeping our eyes focused and keeping our eyes on Jerusalem because we want to go back home. So right now, the Lord is taking care of that for us because there's a battle that's brewing. And see, a lot of our people that keep walking by, as Uriel was trying to reach them, they don't want to hear this word, but it's an urgent thing for them to hear this because we're in the last days. And this getting ready to be some things happening that they're going to have to be prepared for. He said we have to be ready in season and out of season. Go ahead.
And Hamath also shall border thereby, Tyrus and Zidon, though it be very wise.
See, a lot of stuff, this is getting into over in the Holy Land, right over in the valley of Jehoshaphat, where they're over there fighting right now. Read on.
And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heaped up silver as the dust.
And see, a lot of people, they benefited off of the backs of Yasharallah. This is what a lot of people have benefited off of us.
Right.
Every nation got blessed because of Abraham. But he did say they would be blessed, but they didn't want to do Abraham's lineage right. They treated Abraham's lineage bad. Read on.
And heaped up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mire of the streets.
And see, everybody is living deliciously right now on top of the congregation. Read.
Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea.
The Lord is going to take care of all those people, those bastards that's over there occupying the land. He's going to get them out of there. That's what a lot of people are seeing on the news now. That war is just starting to brew, and he's going to get them. He's going to evict them out of there. Read.
And she shall be devoured with fire.
And that fire is going to be an actual fire. When those missiles actually start to fly, it's going to be an actual fire going on. Read on.
Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful.
And that's what's going on. They over there fighting in the Gaza Strip. They're fighting over there. The Philistines and those bastards are going back and forth at it. And it's going to ramp up. It's going to get worse than what it is right now. Read on.
And Ekron for her expectation shall be ashamed.
And they're all going to be ashamed. They're going to be ashamed when it's all said and done because everybody is going to realize sooner or later that we were the chosen people of God. That's what everybody's going to find out. Go ahead.
And the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited.
And see, this is after he takes care of all the adversaries. He has to take care of some people first. Because remember, the Lord said, I love them that love me.
That's right.
And those that seek me early shall find me. But he doesn't like the people that hate him. He says the ones that hate him, he's going to repay them to their face.
That's right.
All the ones that hate him. Is that it on that? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
And that bastard that's dwelling over in Ashdod, that's talking about the illegitimate children over there in Israel right now. And that's why they have to be evicted out of that homeland, so our homeland, so we can go back home. That battle's going to ramp up. And America, this Babylon over here in spiritual Egypt is going to be involved in it as well. Read on.
And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
He's going to cut off the pride of all those people that touch the apples of his eyes. He's cutting off the pride. They're not going to be looking down on us anymore. Those days are going to be over. Let's get that Ezekiel.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 from the top. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel.
So we got to prophesy to these mountains. That's what we're doing. He told us to prophesy. Read on.
God. Prophesy unto the mountains of Israel and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord.
So they should, our people, he's trying to address our people, but a lot of our people, they never want to hear the words. They're too busy. They got better things to do. But guess what? Yahawashi said it, if you deny me amongst men, I'm going to deny you amongst my Father. So everybody that's saying, I don't got time to hear this word, he's going to remember that. You're getting recorded as we speak. Read on.
Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
And see, that's what they did. They thought it was funny to go over to the holy mountain and touch the Most High Yahweh's precious things, to touch his children and take our homeland. That's what this is getting into. How they took our homeland, Jerusalem. Read.
Verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side.
See, they made us desolate and they swallowed us up on every side. They took all of the spoils, is what that's getting into. And that account is in Psalms 83. He's got everybody that was part of that was in that angry gathering, in that tumult. Read on.
Con. That ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people.
And so they got us now in their possession. And now they're sitting back laughing like, oh, we got them where we want them. We got all those people of God where we want them. We got them subjected to us. Lord has it all documented. And that's why no one's going to go unpunished. Is that it, Uriel?
No.
Read on.
Verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord God to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which become a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about.
Because we've become a prey. This is why our people are always getting, gunned down. This is why they're always profiling our people. It's not by a coincidence. See, the Lord, he allowed it because all the powers that be are ordained of Yahawah.
God.
Nothing that's going on is not by a coincidence, but even though he's allowed this stuff to happen, he's going to take vengeance on the ones that touch the apple of his eyes.
That's right.
Read on.
Verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen.
So he's jealous about what has taken place. He's going to take vengeance, and he's not going to greet the people as a man. Read.
And against all Idumea.
And now that's getting into Esau, because that was a capital city, Idumea, one of their capital cities. Edom. You can look it up. You don't believe us. Look it up. Read.
Which have appointed my land in their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
And see, they did it despitefully. They sat there and they had that angry tumult. They all got together in all that group in Psalms 83. They all got together and plotted and had that tumult and said, how can we take the Israelites down? That's what that was getting into. They all came together, and you can read that account in the book of Psalms 83. Read on. Was that it? That's it. Oh, go ahead.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verses 1 through 3. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain.
And that's a powerful passage right there. He says he's jealous about Zion. It's just like anybody that has children, you're going to be jealous if somebody takes your children and goes and sells them off to a bunch of people. You're going to, anybody, if you can look at that analogy of that, this is how the Lord looks at how his people were treated. They took our people and sent us off all over the world and mistreated them by raping, robbing, killing, doing all these different things to his people. So the Lord that's what that's saying. He's jealous. And he has a controversy with this land. Is that it, John? Can we get 2nd Ezra 6, 54 to 59? And then Jeremiah 28:8, y'all.
God. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, starting at verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
See, Uriel was touching on this earlier. He said, everybody did come from Adam, and Abraham was the father of many nations. But listen to what the Lord said. Read.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
But see, he still chose Israel.
God.
There's still a group of people out of all those 18 nations that he chose. Read.
Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake.
Well, this is the mystery that a lot of people don't understand. He made the whole world for our sake. All the other people are just a part in this movie. You guys are playing a part, but this thing is about Israel. This whole thing is about Israel. He made the whole world for our sake. Read on.
Verse 56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam.
Now listen to what the Lord said about all you other nations. All the other, he calls them heathens, that also come of Adam. Read.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
The Lord says you guys are nothing. This is why you guys treat Israel the way you do, because you guys some of you have read these scriptures, and you tried to reverse it on us and treat us like garbage. When this is how the Lord feels about the other nations. Read.
Now, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So the Lord looks at it like if you drop a drop out of your bottle of water. That's how little he looks at the other nations. He says they're like a drop of water. That's why he's killing all the people right now. Over there in Ukraine and Russia, that war is going to brew up, and America's going to be involved in it. All the people here for your perpetual hatred towards the people of God, you guys are going to get those ICBM missiles real soon. You guys are going to feel it. This is how he said the day is coming that's going to burn as an oven, like he said in Malachi chapter 4. It's going to burn the people up. This is what's coming to this place. Everybody here is going to get cooked. They're going to get cooked real soon. Read on.
Verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have been reputed as which have ever been reputed as nothing.
So he said all these heathens that's always been reputed as nothing to God. He just listen to what he said, brother, walking over there on the corner. Read.
Have begun to be lords over us.
You've begun to be lords over us, but that's because the Lord, he's the one that gave you that power right now. He said he set it up kings and removeth kings and giveth wisdom to the wise and those that know understanding. But you guys didn't have any understanding. That's the way you did things. So you're going to get removed out of that pedestal. Read on.
And to devour us.
And all you guys have done is devoured God's people. This is why that World War III is coming. And those ICBM missiles is going to answer you soon. This is what it's about. This whole thing is to get us out of our captivity. Is that it?
Verse 58. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thine only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
See, now we've been given into your hands. We've been given into your hands. That's what it is. But it's not going to stay this way. The Lord, he is going to have mercy on us, like Uriel brought out earlier, and he's going to choose Israel and set us back in our own land. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
See, that's what's getting ready to come, that third woe. Because that second woe back with the Germans, that's already passed. But the third woe is coming quickly.
That's right.
And that's funny that he said it's coming quickly. Yahawashi actually said that in Revelations. He said, I come quickly, and my reward is with me.
God.
To give every man according as their work shall be.
That's right.
It's going to be a reward for all the wicked. You got that, Jeremiah? Y'all?
What you want there?
Jeremiah 28:8. See,
Jeremiah.
bring that out.
Okay, yeah, 28.
You bring that out after that.
Okay,
You want
yeah, Jeremiah 28.
28:8.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
And it reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
See, all the prophets that came before us, they prophesied against many countries, read,
and against great kingdoms.
and against great kingdoms. This is what they were all doing. He didn't say he loves everybody. It doesn't say that in the Bible. Read.
Of war.
Of war, like
And
Uriel brought out. That third woe is coming, that war. Read.
And of evil.
And of evil.
And of pestilence.
And of pestilence. Because that's why they're getting all that stuff. The monkeypox and the COVID and all this stuff that's coming. Oh, he said he's going to send the curses that the Egyptians were sore afraid of on all you heathens. This is what is in the scriptures. He's got all of the plagues that the Egyptians were sore afraid of. They're coming on all these people. Go ahead, y'all.
Okay.
You had that precept.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, and verse 1. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered, and also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirits to pass out of the land.
And that's what he's doing. He's tired of the people over there pushing all that idolatry, transgenders and gay parades. The Lord is fed up with all that. That's a mighty precept there. The Lord is fed up. He doesn't want to see that anymore. So he's cleaning. That's what he's doing. He's cleaning house now. He's just cleaning that place up, and he's getting it prepared for his people. Let's get Isaiah 62, verse 6 through 9, and then let's get Sirach 39:1. Sirach 39:1 after that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, starting at verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem.
So we're the watchmen. You guys are seeing the watchmen. He set watchmen upon the walls. That's what we're doing. We're watching for our people's sins. Read.
Which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
And we're not going to hold our peace. We coming out and letting it out. He said we can't. Yahawashi said you can't hide this under a bushel. The wisdom he's giving you. You can't hide it. So when a brother has some knowledge, they got to bring it out and share it with the other brothers and sisters. Each one teach one. Read.
Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence.
And we're not going to keep silent. We're going to make mention of the Lord. That's what we're going to do. Keep saying what he told us to say, not our own words. Read.
Verse 7. And give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
And we're not going to stop until the Lord establishes that place and he brings in that righteous kingdom, his own kingdom. Because in righteousness, we're going to be established. We're not going to stop until that kingdom is here. Like he said in Matthew 5, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Is that it? Matthew 6, I'll lock you for that.
Verse 8. The Lord hath sworn by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength. Surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies.
In other words, no one's going to be benefiting off of his people no more. They're not, whatever we do and build, we're going to reap the rewards and the benefits from that. Nobody else is not going to take and steal all of our resources. That's not going to happen anymore. Read on.
And the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine.
And they're not going to be drinking that mint julep and all that stuff they had in the past while they were sitting back on their porches watching all of our people slaving all day long in the heat. From sun up to evening. They were going all day long. Read.
And the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine for the which thou hast labored.
And see, if we labor, he said we're going to reap the benefits if we put the labor in. Nobody else is stealing our resources anymore. That's what this whole war is going to be is about. It's to get us out of this captivity. captivity and get us back in Jerusalem where we belong.
That's right.
Got that one? Oh yeah, I think that one too.
Verse 9. But they that have gathered it shall eat it and praise the Lord. And they that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness.
So that's what he's saying. We're gonna benefit from our labor. That's what he's saying in there. Where nobody else is gonna get rich off of us like they've been doing with the record companies, the music industry, the sports industry. They're sitting back. Those ones that are controlling those companies, they're making most of the money, and they're giving those guys crumbs. That's what they're doing. That's not going to be happening no more. Let's get that Sirach, 39 and 1. And Uriel, get Revelations 10, 9 through 11. Follow us up.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
So that's what we're doing. We're searching the scriptures daily, and we're searching the prophecies. We're staying up on the prophecies now because we know what's happening. We want to make sure we're doing what the Lord told us by keeping watch and praying. He told us to watch, so we got to stay up on the current events. We have to watch the news. We have to study to show ourselves approved. We have to do all these things. Read on.
He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and when some two parables are, he will be there also.
Because we want to make sure we're speaking the parables. And he said, if any man speak, we have to make sure we're speaking the oracles. So same thing. We got to make sure we're staying in the word and pushing the living water. You got that one, Uriel? Revelation 10, 9 through 11.
Okay.
And then y'all get Revelations 19, 9 through 16.
Con, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 10, starting at verse 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter.
And that's what we've done. We've studied this Bible. Now we're eating it up, putting it in our spirit. And at first, it's bitter. It was bitter at first because we were doing a lot of the worldly things. Because we were sometimes in darkness. But now we are light in the Lord. So it was bitter to us at a time. Read on.
But it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
But now it's starting to be so sweet. It's like honey. Now it's sweet like honey. And a lot of our people, they keep rejecting it. They just don't know what they're missing. They're missing, man, this is the good things. They're missing the good things. Read on.
Verse 10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey.
And this word is good. That's why David and Peter both were saying, come and see and taste that the Lord is good. This is what a lot of people don't realize. They don't know. They want to reject it. They think it's something bad, but it's really good. Read on.
And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
And see, the bitter pill is because you got to change. That's it. People don't want to change. They want to keep going by, selling, and doing all this stuff on the Sabbath. This is the Sabbath day, so this is why they don't want to do it. They're like, I got something else to go do. They're always saying, I'll be back. But where are they? Where are the people? They said, well, I'll be right back. This is, the Lord heard that. You made a vow to the Lord, but you gotta have to answer for those vows. Read on.
Come, verse 11. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples.
And we gotta keep prophesying before many people. And so this is for you. You know, the Lord, he's coming back for his people. He's coming back for a church without a spot or wrinkle or blemish. That's what he's coming back for. So our people, we gotta get it right. We can't put this off. He said to make haste and delay not to keep the commandments. We're not supposed to be delaying with this. A lot of people are putting this on the back burner, but they're going to regret doing this. Go ahead, Uriel.
Come, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings.
And that's what we're doing. We got to prophesy. We got to bring this out because everybody has to hear about it from the least to the greatest. Everybody's going to have to hear. Let's bring that out, y'all, in Revelation. Revelation 19, 9 through 16. Yeah. And then Uriel get Isaiah 59, 19 to 21. After Yah's Bible Kishah.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verses 9 through 16.
Go on.
And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb.
See, this is something people should want. You should want to be able to come and sit at the table with the Lord and have that dinner with the Lord. This is what people should want. Read.
And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of Yahawah. And I fell at his feet to worship him.
And this is what everybody's going to be falling at his feet pretty soon. Right now, everybody's disregarding the word of God. But when he cracks that sky, they ain't going to have no choice in the matter. They're going to be on their knees. Everybody's going to be on their knees on that day. Read on.
And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahawashi.
Because he had the testimony. He came with the straight fire. He had the testimonies that his father gave him, and he completed his mission. Read.
Worship Yahawah, for the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy.
So people need to worship him, because the testimony of Hamashiach Yahawashi, this is the spirit of prophecy. Read on.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
And that white horse is representing purity, because there is no guile and there was no sin in him. No guile in his mouth, and there was no sin. So when he said that white horse, that's representing purity. He's coming in the chariot and with purity.
And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true.
And he's coming with power. He's coming in with purity and with power, because he's faithful and true. There was no guile in his mouth. Read.
And in righteousness he doth judge.
And he's going to judge this place in righteousness, because this place needs to be cleansed. This place is a wicked society, and he's going to judge it in righteousness. Read.
And make war.
And he's going to make war. That's what this whole war, this war over in the Middle East is brewing to. This battle that's coming. A lot of people are just walking around like they don't have a care in the world, but they don't even see what's the signs. What's really happening right here. Read on.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
It was custom for the Jews to drink wine. Say they'll try to say, make him like a cartoon character, pushing laser beams out of his eyes. But the chariots, they're going to be shooting some fire out of them chariots, though. Go ahead, Yah.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Because he's going to have many crowns, because he's taking it from all the nations. That's why he's going to have many crowns.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
And he has a name written that no man knew but he himself. And see, we want to get that stone with our new name too when he comes. We want to get that stone with that name written on with our names on it too. From him. Read on.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
He's going to be clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, because he's going to be doing a lot of destroying here. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. A lot of people are going to be getting destroyed. He's not coming to give out candy and lollipops. That's not what he's going to do when he gets here. Read.
And his name is called the Word of God.
That's his name. That's another name, the Word of Yahawah. And he's going to be bringing that fire when he comes. That's it on that?
Nope.
Go ahead.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses.
He's not coming alone. He's coming with them angelic angels. He's coming with a big army. That's why, at the time when he was in front of Pontius Pilate, Pilate was saying, "Don't you know I have the power to set you free or to have you crucified?" And he said, "Well, you wouldn't have no power over me unless it was given to you from above." And he was saying, "And I have the power to send a legion of angels." He had the power to send angels. But it wasn't that time to do that. But it's going to be the time when he cracks that sky.
And there were armies which were in heaven followed him upon the white horse, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Because that white is representing righteousness. And there's nobody that's white in this society. They're dark skinned, brown, or they're light brown and red. That's the only colors on the planet. There's nobody white. That white represents purity. That's why it said he's going to be clothed in white. Read.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword.
And that's the word. That's that sharp sword, that word. Go ahead.
that with it he should smite the nations.
And that's what it does now. People hear this word and they don't like it. It just tears up their spirit. It smites them. It just destroys them. That's why they keep running. Go ahead.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
And he's going to rule with a rod of iron. That's how he's going to rule. And that's what we want. We want him to give us the power to break the nations into pieces like clay pots. Let's get that Isaiah, Uriel. 50. One more. Oh, one more.
And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahawah.
He's gonna tread the wine fat, the wine press. Actually, that's talking about how he back in the old and ancient days, the women would be stumping the grapes to make the wine. So he's using that analogy. How he gonna be stumping and just destroying people? A lot of bloodshed there. Go ahead, Uriel.
Gone. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, starting at verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in a like flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him.
And see, hey, everybody's going to know about him from the rising of the sun, from the east and from the west. And when the enemies come in like a flood, he said, don't worry, he's going to be our shield and our buckler, our fortress and our refuge. He's going to be a very present help in a time of trouble. We don't have to worry about all that. He's going to hide us under the shadow of his wings. Read on.
On, verse 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord.
And see, that the ones that turn. That's why he said, return unto me in Malachi, and I'll return unto you. But a lot of people, they don't want to do it. They want to continue on in the mud and the mire.
On, verse 21. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed.
So that covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in other words, is never going to change because people don't like it. And he's talking about how all of our children, and our children and their children are going to be blessed. And they're going to continue on with this. That's what he said. It's going to continue on. That's that everlasting life. It's going to continue on from generation to generation. Read on.
Saith the Lord, from henceforth and forever.
And it's that once that kingdom is established, it's going to go from henceforth and forever. It's never going to end. This one is going to come to an end. Yeah, let's get Ephesians 1, 12 through 14. And then Uriel, you could get Psalms 89, 34 through 37.
12 through 15.
Ephesians 4. Ephesians 1.
Oh, 1,
12 through 14.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verses 12 through 14.
Come on, bring it out.
That he should be to the praise of his glory, who first trusted in Christ, in whom ye also trusted after that ye heard the word of truth.
And see, we trusting in him. We're trusting in the Lord with all our heart, and we're not going to lean on our own understanding. We're not doing that no more. But we're going to, in all our ways, acknowledge him as he directs our path. That's what we're going to do. Read on.
The gospel of your salvation, in whom also after that ye believed, ye were sealed with that Holy Spirit of promise.
Because see, he's already, we're hoping that he sealed us. How you doing, brother? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it to the kingdom. We're trying to make it. That's what we're out here to do.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, brother? Oh man, we just out here bringing the word. You know who you are? Who are you, brother? You're the servant of God. But who? What's your ethnicity? What do they call us? What do they call us in this society? But are you black? You brown. So you know that's a lie. We're not black. See, you know what is your dad a so-called African American? What is he? A Muslim?
That's a religion. That's a religion.
Yeah, that's a religion. But what's his ethnicity?
He don't really care about that. He only cares about serving God.
Because it does matter, brother. Reason we got to show you.
I just came over here to educate. I don't subscribe to the Bible. I'm listening.
Okay.
I read the Quran.
Okay.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18.
Okay.
And they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their family.